How you doing? It's Sandesh here. I'm here to do a video on an article, and it's about the boxing match, and I'm sure we all know about it. The fight that happened, the boxing fight that happened at the Olympics. I mean, I'm telling you, one fuck up after another. First the ceremony, and now this. Anyway, it's on Newsweek. Obviously this is obviously um, this has been updated. Excuse me. Um, anyway, it's called a woman boxer abandons fight in tears against athlete who failed gender test. Before getting to the article, if you could follow me on X and subscribe on YouTube, Rumble and Odyssey, and TikTok as well, if you don't mind, please. All right, I'm going to get into it now. An Italian boxer burst into tears after quickly abandoning a fight at the Paris 2024 Olympics against um, an opponent who previously failed a gender eligibility test administered by a now unrecognized boxing association. Angela Carini, obviously Italian, stopped her bout against Algerian Imain Khalif after just 46 seconds. The 25-year-old said after the fight that she had never been hit so hard in her life. The incident has sparked controversy as Carini fell to her knees in the middle of the ring and said, "This isn't fair," according to the BBC. Now, I've heard people say that, she's just a weakling, she's never done this before, but it's like, hang on a minute. She's been training to get into the Olympics, so how the hell is she a weakling? She obviously got herself ready for this. She just didn't know that she was going to be fighting a man, obviously, until she got into the Olympics. But then obviously she couldn't do anything about it. Khalif is one of the two female boxers who have previously been banned. You know what? First of all, Khalif, I'm not. Apologies, I'm calling Khalif female. I'm going to call her male from now on because that's who they clearly are. Who have previously been banned for failing gender eligibility and testosterone tests. The other was Lin Yu Ting of Chinese Taipei, who is due to fight um, Sitorel and Turdi Bikova on Friday. Sorry about the pronunciation. And the pair were barred from competing in the 2023 Women's World Championships by the International Amateur Boxing Association. Its president, Umar Kremlev, said at the time that their DNA tests proved that they had XY chromosomes, the male chromosomes, and were thus excluded per the Guardian. Yeah, rightfully so. It seems like that tournament. It seems like that women's championship, last year. Yeah, got it right. And even they saw since it's like, yeah, a woman cannot be in the same cannot be in the same cannot face a woman because it's just ridiculous. It's like the man's obviously gonna win. The International Olympic Committee withdrew the IBA's recognition in 2023 following its suspension in 2019, and that decision has since been confirmed by the Court of um, Arbitration for Sport. They are allowed to compete in the Olympics because the two boxers are women according to their passports and also pass its own eligibility test. What the fuck is that? It says on their passports that just because it says on their passports that they're women. What I mean, that's and that automatically means that they're eligible. I mean, you can have a fake ID and then put that same fake identification on a new passport. Of course, you can do that as long as you know someone who knows what they're doing. The IRC also slammed the IBA's decision, pointing out that the two women had been fighting competitively for years and were allowed to compete in a number of international competitions. These two athletes were the victims of a sudden um, arbitrary decision by the IBA. You see what I mean? They're making them victims now. Towards the end of the IBA World Championships of 2023, they were suddenly disqualified without any due process. The IOC said in a joint statement with the Paris 2024 committee. The current aggression against these two athletes is based entirely on their arbitrary decision which was taken without any proper procedure, especially considering that these athletes had been competing in top level competition for many years. Such an approach is contrary to good governance. In 2021, the IOC released its framework on the matter of gender and sex variation to ensure that everyone is, irrespective of their gender identity or sex variations, can practice sport in a safe, harassment free environment that recognizes and respects their needs and identities. What the fuck is this? And the interests of everyone, particularly athletes at elite level. Oh, okay, in a practice sport in a safe, free environment. Okay, then you said that men can compete against women in a safe environment, that they get to feel safe. Okay, then. Well, what about the women? Well, what about the women then? Because the women ain't going to be safe. I'll tell you that much. They're not going to be safe, especially in a contact sport like boxing. Of course, they're not going to be safe. It's just double standard bullshit, and it's just fucking nuts. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about my language. Um, to participate in fair competitions where no participant has an unfair and disproportionate advantage over the rest, over the rest. Excuse me. Many sports bodies and the IRC sometimes require women to be tested for testosterone. They can only compete if their testosterone is below a certain level at least 12 months prior to competing. It is often applied to women recognized as having disorders of sex and development (DSD), which is more commonly known as being intersex. They are required to reduce their testosterone to be able to compete. Well, the thing is, if this man, I'm gonna say man, was intersex, and they were required to reduce their testosterone. Well, the thing is, you know what? They didn't really um, them and their trainers clearly didn't do a good job of lowering the testosterone. So the thing is, I'm sick and tired of all the excuses. It's like, how the hell could you not require? How could you not reduce the testosterone? There's obviously going to be ways to be able to do it. The World Medical Association advises doctors not to administer testosterone lowering medications because it believes the regulation is contrary to international medical ethics and human rights standards. What the hell? The policies also apply to women with hyperandro um, androgenism, which is a term used to describe high levels of testosterone. Critics of the policy have argued that they are unfair and revert to outdated concepts of biology. While the testosterone may have some impact on how the body works, it is impossible to quantify how much effect it is having. Julian Savulescu, a visiting professor in biomedical ethics at the Murdoch Children's Research Institute, wrote in a conversation in 2019. The IOC defended its decision to allow women to fight ahead of the competition. Obviously, I'm not going to comment on individuals, IOC spokesperson Mark Adams said per The Guardian. That's really invidious and unfair. But I would just say that everyone competing in the women's category is complying with the competition eligibility rules. No, what you did was you got the rules and you made it fit just so that men who consider themselves trans can compete against women. What you pretty much saw, well, what the whole world saw, was just abuse. Because the thing is, that sort of shit is no different on when it happens in domestic violence. What was so different? There are women in their passports, and they are women in their passports, and it is stated that is the case. For fuck's sake. I'm heartbroken, said Carini, as reported in The Guardian. I went to the ring to honour my father, as I was told a lot of the times that I was a warrior, but I preferred to stop for my health. I had never felt a punch like this. And that's what makes it more sad. She went to the ring to honour her dad, and she pretty much got humiliated. Oh, and by the way, And there's also I saw a couple of clips on X, right, where one, and this lets you know that he's clearly a man, that Khalif was clearly a man, yeah, where you know how blokes like to like to fiddle around with them meat and two veg, right? Some blogs do, some don't, but you know what I'm talking about. And the second one, right, was I think after when the Karini quit and she was going to walk away, Khalif got her hand and basically smacked it across Karini's breast. And you could clearly see it. It's like Khalif was pretty much taking the piss out, taking the piss out of her, right there. It was just disgusting. She added, I got into the ring to fight. I didn't give up, but one punch hurt too much, and so I said enough. I'm going now with my head held high. I think majority of people are not blaming Karini because it clearly was not her fault. After the second punch, after years of experience, I felt a strong pain in the nose. I said enough because I didn't want. And I couldn't finish the fight after the punch in the nose, so it was better to put an end to it. When asked about Khalif's eligibility to fight, Karini said it was not up to me to judge. Khalif spoke briefly to the BBC saying, I am here for gold, I will fight anybody, I will fight them all. Yeah, of course you fucking will. Especially since you know what? I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say something that's gonna be deemed controversial. If this is what they're gonna carry on doing with the Olympics, and I imagine that they will, right? Because they've pretty much gotten away with it. What is the point of actually competing in the Olympics now? Because especially for women, what's the point of women competing in the Olympics now? Because now it's just gonna be too unfair to them. I mean, they're not even gonna have a chance anymore. And I think it was an Irish boxer. I think he was currently competing in the Olympics. I could be wrong, and I forgot what her name was. And even she said that this was just disgusting as well. And I know that a lot of people don't like Logan Paul, and you know that's up to you. But even Logan Paul said what just happened was just pure evil, and and it's an embarrassment to sports itself, and he's 100% bang on the money. You can hate him all you want, but you can't deny what he said was the truth because what he said was actually the truth. It is not known whether Khalif or Lynn identify as transgender or intersex, or if they have hyperandrogenism, but it is reignited a debate about transgender athletes competing in women's sports. People took to X, formerly Twitter, to share their thoughts, including Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling, my favourite. She's often been accused of um, anti transgender rhetoric, which she has always denied, but slammed Khalif's inclusion in the Olympics. Yeah, she doesn't like men who are pretending to be women to be included in into women's spaces and especially in women's sports because it's just completely stupid. She's doing, she's defending women's rights. Well, that's all she's doing. She's just defending women's rights, and and she's just being honest and just being truthful. Watch this whole thread. I'm just talking about on what J.K. Rowling said. Then explain why you're okay with a man beating a woman in public for your entertainment. That's what it was. And this isn't sport. From the bullying, cheating red all the way up to the organisers who allowed this to happen. This is men reveling in their power over women, Rowling wrote. I kind of do agree with her about that. Anyway, this article will be in the description. But for Gemma Stone, a transgender writer, oh fuck, here we go. And co-founder of the trans rights news site, the Olympics, Controversy was just another excuse for bigots to share their anti-transgender views online. I remain completely unsurprised that in lieu of any transgender people competing in this year's Olympics, the transphobes have sought to instead imagine one the same way they imagine kids being rushed onto honor hormones or the risks of letting trans women pee in peace, Stone told Newsweek. were an obsession, an Olympic sport, these bigots would certainly have my vote for gold. Well, the thing is, you said that these people are so transphobes, but then the thing is, what about the women who are basically getting the shit kicked out of them, but by a man who just wants to who's pretending to be a woman. I mean, there's really something seriously disturbing about that, and seriously mentally wrong about that. And this year's Olympics, I'm telling you, one fuck up after another. I guarantee you, with that boxing fight with that Lynn woman, I guarantee you, another fuck up is going to end up happening. Another one is going to end up happening. And people are going to look back on this Olympics and they're going to say that this was just nothing but it was just nothing but a shit show. Yeah, that's what it pretty much was. People are gonna look back on this in years and say it was a shit show. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe on this video. And if you could follow me on X and subscribe on YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey, and TikTok as well, if you don't mind, please. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.